Hi students, myself Dr. Krisha and welcome to Capman Academy. So today I am going to teach you about food chemistry and nutrition, in which various types of topics which we will cover one by one. So our first topic is biomolecules, in which we will discuss about the building blocks of our body, how they work and how our body consumes these biomolecules and use it for the long time. Fine. So first of all, biomolecules means biological molecules. Fine. And in the biological molecules, there are different type of biomolecules, which comes number one, carbohydrates. Second is our proteins. Third is lipids and nucleic acids. All these biomolecules are very important for our body to grow and do all the metabolic activities. So in all the cases, for example, carbohydrates, they play as an energy source which we will discuss later, and the proteins, they play role in the muscle formation or in various other activities, and in lipids, these are our fatty acids, and nucleic acids, these are very important. These uh, these make the genetic material of our body, genetic material like DNA and RNA. So today we will discuss about the carbohydrates, which are found in abundant and these are required by our body in daily life. Fine. So first of all, we will see what happens if these biological molecules won't be consumed by the organisms, or they are not taken by us daily basis. So if we take one day, if in one day we don't take the required amount of calories, which includes everything: carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids. Fine. So if we don't take the required calories, then our body can leads to many kind of disorders. Fine. And if we take it in excess calories, then also it can leads to the diseases, which means these biomolecules, they play a very important role in our life, because if we take them in very low amount, it will leads to the diseases. If we take them in very higher amount, it can then also will leads to the diseases. Therefore food nutrition is a very important aspect of our life. So if we have to take these biomolecules in a very limited amount, which are recommended by the major bodies. Fine. So in our today's topic, we will discuss about the carbohydrates, in which we will see how these carbohydrates are made of, and what are their structure, what are their roles, and how important they are for our body, or we can say for any kind of organisms. Fine. So uh, yes, carbohydrates. So first we will see what are these carbohydrates. So they are defined as, number one, hydrates of carbon, hydrates of carbon, and second, they are defined as polyhydroxy ketones and aldehydes. So why they are called hydrates of carbon? Because they have carbon molecule and hydrogen molecule in a very specific ratio. In a very specific ratio, we can say it by O2 and HN. No, sorry. CnH2n N. Yes, this one is correct. So it is defined as by this formula. This is a very important definition, hydrates of carbon, and this formula, this can be asked in the GATE examination. So because of the carbon and hydrogen molecules presence, these are called hydrates of carbon. Fine. And the hydroxy ketones and aldehydes means all the carbohydrates will have ketone group and aldehyde group as a functional group in their chain. Okay, now let's see, yes, move on further. So in which we will see carbohydrates classification. So according to their structure, they are classified into 4 categories, in which one is monosaccharides, then disaccharides, then comes oligosaccharides, and then final is polysaccharides. So first of all, saccharides mean sugar moiety, sugar molecule, and mono means one sugar moiety. In the same way, di means 2 sugar molecules, saccharides means sugar. So 2 sugar molecule when joined together, they will make disaccharides, and then oligosaccharides will come when there are more than 2 sugar molecules will join together, and they could not be more than 10 sugar molecules. And when this chain will go on up to 1000 sugar molecules, more than 100 molecules, then these are called polysaccharides. So we will discuss about them one by one. First we will see what are monosaccharides. First we will discuss about monosaccharides. So as I told you before, monosaccharides, they contain 1 sugar moiety, 1 sugar unit. Fine. And examples of monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, mannose, and galactose. And but about the monosaccharides, the most important thing is they are not hydrolyzed further. They are not hydrolyzed further, which means monosaccharides are the simplest sugar unit. It cannot be break down more. Fine. Not hydrolyzed more. And according to the monosaccharide structure, they are also classified into different structures. So we will see how these can be classified. Number one, they are classified on the basis of their presence of carbon atoms, which means how many numbers of carbon atoms are present in one monosaccharide. On the basis of that, carbon atoms can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and so on, and these are called trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses, haptulose, then octulose and noonodes. Fine. So, on the basis of carbon atoms, monosaccharides can be classified on the different type of structures. Second thing comes, second things is they are classified on the basis of presence of numbering of chain, carbon chain. Fine. For example, if it is 3 carbon atoms in a chain, then how they can be numbered? How the chain can be numbered? So, it is a very important thing, because when a carbohydrates are numbered, first carbon atom, it is attached to a functional group. Fine. As I said, the carbohydrates are polyhydroxyl ketones and aldehydes. So they must have an functional group in their chain, and where this functional group will exist, that will be your first carbon atom, and then it goes second and third. Fine. And as we see, so this is the second type of monosaccharide classification, in which they are classified on the basis of their numbering of the carbon chain. And the third case, it comes presence of functional group, which means what kind of functional group will be present? Is it aldehyde or ketone? If we say aldehyde, functional group is CHO and the ketone is C double bond O. So, on the basis of their functional group, they are classified. Fine. For example, if we see aldehyde, for example, glucose. So, glucose, first of all, it's an hexose, which means it has 6 carbon atoms, 4, 5 and 6, and it will have on first carbon atom an aldehyde group, then comes polyhydroxy groups OH, 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 fine, and this will be also OH, CH2, and this will come H, H, H and H. So, this will be your first carbon, this will be second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. So, this is the numbering of the carbon molecule, monosaccharide molecule, and this is the functional group, where the functional group will be attached, fine, and on the basis of number of carbons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it is called hexose. So, on these 3 bases the monosaccharides are classified. And also the ketone example is fructose, which is also a 6 carbon carbohydrate, but instead of aldehyde group it contains COO on their second carbon atom, which means if I draw a fructose here, so it will be CH2OH, then C, then O, and then it will go on as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 carbon atoms, and with the polyhydroxy groups. Fine. So, these are our aldehyde and ketone functional group, and on the basis of their functional group they are defined into different monosaccharides. So, now we come again to our monosaccharides on the basis of their carbon atoms. So, there are very simplest carbons monosaccharides are trioses, sorry, trioses, which means they have 3 carbon atoms. 3 carbon atoms. Fine. And 3 carbon atoms means 1, 2, 3, and it will be CHO. It can be CO, ketone, but I am drawing it as an aldehyde group. Then it will be OH, CH2, OH and H. So this will be 1, 2, 3. So the most simplest and basic trioses are number 1 glycerol aldehyde, and dihydroxyacetone. This one is a ketone monosaccharide. It has keto functional group, and this one will have aldehyde functional group, so it is called glycerol aldehyde. So these two are the basic monosaccharides, and all the monosaccharides like pentoses, tetroses, hexoses, all these are derived from these two simple monosaccharides. Fine. So keep in mind, I am still talking about the monosaccharides, in which we had discussed about their classification, how they are numbered, what kind of functional group they have, and then what kind of carbon atoms they have. And on the basis, I had showed you the simplest trioses, which are glycerol aldehyde and dihydroxyacetone. Now there is one important thing about the monosaccharides, which is yes, if I say a functional, if I take a functional monosaccharide, which is CHO, COH, H and CH2OH. So this is a glycerol aldehyde, and it has 3 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3. But there is also an important thing, which means one carbon atom is attached to different type of molecule, different type of groups. Alcohol group, simple hydrogen molecule, then CH2OH group, and aldehyde group, CHO group. So on the basis of this one, on the basis of this molecule, this carbon is called as chiral carbon. Chiral carbon. I am repeating it again. When a carbon molecule is surrounded by different kind of molecules, groups, it is called chiral carbon, and this chirality is very common in carbohydrates. Fine. And if I say, if I again draw a structure, okay, in this case there are only 3 kind of different molecule, but the fourth one is same as like the second one. So it won't be called as chiral, it would be a chiral carbon. A chiral carbon. Fine. So on the basis of this chiral carbon, the carbohydrates follows stereochemistry. Stereochemistry. And stereochemistry in the sense they will form a mirror like image. They will form a mirror like image. It's like when you see your hands on a mirror, you will see the mirror images. So they will form the mirror images of each other. And when this happen, when they will be present in a solution, and when a light will pass, they will change their positions. These functional groups will change their positions, and they form different kind of stereoisomers. Fine. So stereoisomers are kind of the superimposed images. They will be same, but their structure will be same, but the position of their plane would be different. Fine. So these on the basis of this chiral carbon, they will form stereochemistry, and on the basis of this, because they have CHO and ketone group, they will form various number of isomers. Aldehyde group will form different kind of isomers, ketone will form different kind of isomers. Fine. And the aldehyde which form isomers, they are called aldoses, because they have aldehyde group at their as their functional group, and this ketone will form ketuloses, which means they have ketone group on their carbon chain. Fine. So I hope this would be very clear. If you have any doubt, please be happy to ask me in the comments, or you can write us back. Fine. So on the basis of, as I told you, on the basis of their stereochemistry, they form very different kind of isomers, and on the basis of their functional group presence, they are called aldoses and ketuloses. Fine. So I will show you a picture which will show I will show you a picture. This is a glyceraldehyde molecule, and as I told you, all the carbohydrates, monosaccharides are derived from this simple triose monosaccharides. Fine. So for example, as we can see here, glyceraldehyde forms two different kind of isomers. One is D-arthrose and second is D-threose. Then these two molecule again, but it becomes now tetrose. 1, 2, 3, 4. It have it have 4 carbon atoms in them. Fine. And then this D-arthrose will form ribose and arabinose. Same way, threose will also show the chirality and make isomers and will form D-xylose and lysose. And the same way, they are again and this time in the ribose case, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon atoms will be present, which means the carbons are getting added in the monosaccharide structure. Fine. And the same way, as it will go on, condensation will go on, they will form then hexoses, which will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6 carbon atoms. Fine. But the difference is that the stereochemistry which I told you about, chirality, because it will change the plane of their positions. So on the basis of this functional group, first chiral functional group, their position will be defined. For example, these isomers would be dextrorotatory or levorotatory. Dextrorotatory D isomers or levorotatory L isomers. So if the plane of the position of the hydroxyl group is right side, it will be called dextrorotatory, and if it will goes to the left side like this in this way, so it will be called levorotatory. Right and left configuration, we can say they have two kind of configurations which are kind of isomers. Fine. And yes, and this configuration is defined as on the basis of their hydroxyl group which they have. On the basis of hydroxyl group, the hydroxyl group which they have I will repeat it again, how they are D and L defined. On the basis of the hydroxyl group which they have on their second last carbon atom, chiral carbon atom, they are defined as D and L. For example, in this way, all the carbons, all the structures are D-galactose, D-talose, which means they have D configuration, which means the hydroxyl group in each case is on right side, and when this hydroxyl group will change the plane of position, it will go to the left side, they all will be L configuration. Fine. So this is about the configuration. Now we will see an important aspect of these structures is which are apimers. So apimers again, yes, I will write here apimers. So apimers are the structure of the monosaccharide will be same. Structure will be same, but again on a specific carbon atom, the position of the hydroxyl group will be changed. Structure, the carbon structure will be same, but the position of the OH group can be different on a specific carbon atom, not all the carbon atom on one carbon atom. For example, if this is your first monosaccharide, then I will draw another monosaccharide. So in this case, for example, if I say on the third carbon, as OH group is in right side, so it will go on the left side. So all the structure is same, but the plane of the hydroxyl group in one carbon is changed. So these are called apimers. And as we say, as we will see, for example, in this case, for glucose and mannose, these two are apimers of each other, which means mannose is an apimer of glucose, which means at 3 carbon atom, if you say 1 2 3, sorry, yes, on the second carbon the mannose is different from the glucose. All the structure is same, but the configuration at second carbon is changed, so it changed the configuration of the glucose atom. So mannose here is a apimer of glucose. In the same way, galactose also an apimer of glucose. Galactose also apimer of glucose, in which the 1 2, if you compare them with the glucose, see 3 and 4, on the fourth carbon of the galactose and on the glucose, the OH hydroxyl configuration is changed, so that make galactose also apimer of the glucose. I hope it is clear. If it's not clear, then ask me, I will be happy to answer your questions. Fine. So these are the apimerization. This is called apimerization, and these are the apimers of the monosaccharides. So this is very important. On the basis of configuration, like mannose have the epimeric carbon at C2, and galactose have epimeric carbon at C4. So and these both are apimers of glucose molecule. Fine. So this is the apimers, and then it comes, then the next step is their structures. So this structure, as I told you, 1 2 3, let's say glycerolaldehyde, CHO, OH, H and CH2OH. So this structure is normal chain structure. Fine. And this is called Fischer projections. But when at specific carbons, for example, these are only 3 carbons, so they cannot combine to each other. But when this will become 1 2 3 4 5 6, 5 or 6, they will join to each other, which means CHO group of this and 5 carbon OH group, they both will condense to each other and they will form a cyclic structure called cyclic form. They will form a cyclic form in which they will form a cyclic pyranose ring structure. Fine. So this happens because this chain is very long, and at some point when you keep it, this chain at the solutions, which mean monosaccharides, when you add them in a solution, they come together, come to each other, and they condense to each other. They form bond between the first carbon of the aldehyde group and the fifth carbon of the monosaccharide unit. So this way they will form a pyranose ring. Pyranose ring. And in the same way, if I say the carbon is fifth, the carbon is pentose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then again this molecule will make bond with the fourth carbon atom, hydroxyl group. Fine, this is OH here. So they will make a bond and they will form a pentose ring, furan ring. This is called furan ring. Fine. And when this happen only when these are monosaccharides kept in a solutions, though, so they change their structure. Chain will become ring structures. Fine. So these are the Fischer projections and these are the cyclic forms. Okay. So on the basis of this, there is another fact will come, which is mutarotation, which is a mutarotation. So what is the mutarotation? Mutarotation. Mutarotation is, if we say, when cyclic form produce from chain form, which means when a chain of monosaccharide form cyclic structure in what? In a solution, aqueous solution. So it will form cyclic chain, but it's not like that it will form cyclic structure. It will be interconvertible. It will form cyclic structure and then again can be chain structure. But when it forms cyclic structure, it make two type of forms which are called alpha and beta anomers. Alpha and beta anomers. Now we will discuss what are these alpha and beta anomers. So no, let me first complete the what is mutarotation. So as I said, the cyclic form will change into chain form will change into cyclic form, and these cyclic form will be of two type alpha and beta anomers. So this interconversion of the monosaccharide molecule is called mutarotation. Mutarotation. This is the interconversion of chain molecule monosaccharide into different type of cyclic forms. So it can be alpha anomer or it can be beta anomer. And what are these alpha and beta anomer, that I will tell you now. So as the cyclic form will form, for example, if I say, yes, this is our cyclic form. Fine, as I told you, there is a condensation will be between the functional group and the fifth carbon of the Fischer projection chain. So in which what happens, the second carbon will become first carbon. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Fine. So sorry. So in this case, what happened? The OH group, the first carbon, first of all, is called anomeric carbon. Anomeric carbon. First carbon, only first carbon is called anomeric carbon. And on the basis of position of hydroxyl group, these are called alpha or beta form. For example, in this case, hydroxyl group is above the carbon atom, or we can say it is close to our sixth carbon atom. Sixth carbon atom will be here. So this is close to sixth carbon atom, and it will make a beta form. This is called beta anomeric form. Fine. So when this hydroxyl group will come to downside of the ring structure, or we can say away from the sixth carbon, away from the sixth carbon, this is called alpha anomer, alpha anomeric form. So these two are alpha and beta anomeric form, and on the basis of these positions they are named so and they are used. So when these alpha and beta anomers are formed in an aqueous solution, they perform mutarotation. Mutarotation in the sense how much this hydroxyl group, the plane of their position is changed, whether it is alpha or beta, how much percentage is beta will form and how much percentage is alpha anomer will form. So for example, if we see, when a monosaccharide is changed to Fischer projection to cyclic form, like I will say, yes, chain Fischer projection to, now I am drawing it like this, so it can be cyclic form in alpha anomeric form. Same way it would be beta form. So chain will dissolve into cyclic alpha and beta anomers, and this could be interconvertible. They can again form the chain molecule too. But in this case, as the rotation, optical activity, the specific rotation will change. This is a slow reaction. So as the specific rotation will change, these two forms will produced. Fine. So on the basis of this specific rotation, they will make, for example, in this reaction, chain formation will be very less, 1%, and alpha form will go to like 40%, and this will go 59%. So on the basis of their mutarotation or optical activity, these two forms will be formed, and this interconversion from chain to cyclic forms is called mutarotation. Mutarotation. It is a very important topic. The questions can be asked from this topic. Fine. So this is the monosaccharide. This is all about the basic structure of monosaccharides. I am asking you again, I know this topic is very confusing, and if you have any confusions or any questions, please feel free to ask me. I will write you back again as much as possible. Fine. I hope this topic would be clear to you. So I will finish it now, and in the next chapter we will discuss about the other monosaccharides, derivatives of monosaccharides, and other classified categories of the carbohydrates, which are disaccharides and polysaccharides. Fine. So take care. Good day. Thank you.